Good morning. Good morning, all. Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, fine. That uh, uh, yesterday we have seen about the computer vision, the OpenCV library. How can we acquire the uh, images and uh, how can we display, how can we do the pre-processing of the images that we have seen on yesterday, and uh, maybe something like if suppose you are new to Python, and maybe I am going to share a link which has that uh, yeah, an online course of 10 days online course which has that all the uh, prerequisites for Python to get started with that we have over here, and I'm sharing that on the chat. Maybe you can use of the same here, which provides how can we install the Python and how can we get started with the Python programming language that uh, that can be done using this here. I'm sharing the link on the chat. Uh, yeah, this link has the uh, uh, basics of Python, the basic Python syntax and Python tuples, and the object-oriented programming, and different simple exercises. It provides complete information to get started with the Python programming, basically, over here. That now today we will see about how can we do get started with the basics and fundamentals of the machine learning, and then deep learning over here. Yeah. Yeah, machine learning is basically an subset of artificial intelligence techniques. It's something we wanted that a machine or a system, it has to learn by itself. It's something like it has to so, yeah, just uh, 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah, machine learning. Uh, okay. Uh, am I audible? Okay. Uh, uh, am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, there is some internet issue. Okay, over here, and maybe yeah, it's something like a machine or a system which can learn by itself. It's something like machine will be acting like uh, without explicitly programming. It's something like we can have something like whether it is in the manufacturing line, it has to automatically check whether the product is uh, finished proper in a proper manner, or it has the fault, detection of faulty, all those things can detect automatically by a machine, and it takes necessary action accordingly, which makes something like a kind of a machine learning. Basically, it's something that we can use that the machine learning, it's something in order to do that business decision automatically, you with the help of the historical data present over here. For example, we can see as a human how we are defining something like ourselves is this is a good product, or for example we are going for a vegetable shop and we are checking for a fruit or anything. and we are confirming something like this is a good fruit, this is a bad fruit, this is a no, in between, it is a very good fruit, very good vegetables. Like that, we are differentiating by ourselves. That is based on our historical data, which we have fed to our mind. Similar way, the machine learning has been utilizes that historical data, or it can be a historical data, it can be a collection of images. For example, it has to identify the defects, something like that the packet has been teared down in a different manner, that has been fed as images to the machine, and whenever it sees something like the product is moving, something like there is a the packet is teared down, or packet has been open, or packet does not sealed properly, all those things can be fed to that machine, so that it will detect uh, the respective product has not been manufactured properly, that like that it has detects that particular product, and it takes the necessary business action accordingly over here. Basically, the machine learning has been evolved with the pattern recognition and the computational theory of artificial intelligence. It's something like pattern recognition in the sense it's something that we wanted to have detect an object, or it's some kind of a the pattern. It has to detect the recognize a pattern. For example, we have an our brain, we have a how, if suppose we take an example, how we detect a animal as a dog by ourselves. It's something like we will be having some kind of a features, and that has been loaded. For example, if suppose we see some dog which is we have not at all seen, then we could not recognize as it is a dog. And if suppose we have seen a lot of dogs that should have this law, a dog or cat or any animals, something like we have loaded with the perception, it's something like it will be having a tail like this, it will be have the legs like this, it will be have the body will be like this, and it will have the faces will be like this, like that all the features or patterns will be it has been loaded in our mind, so that whenever we see a dog, it has been we are detecting that animal as a dog, as a cat, or as a uh, different animals like that. For example, that we wanted to detect, for example, um, the traffic. In the traffic, we wanted to detect something like, for example, the speed detection. Something like car can go up to 100 kilometer uh, per hour, and the truck can go up to 80 kilometer per hour. Something like two wheeler can go up to 40 kilometers per hour. Like that, we have the restriction, and we wanted to monitor that with the artificial intelligence systems. In that case, first thing we have to detect whether it is a car, or whether it is a truck, whether it is a two-wheeler, or whether it is a bus, that we need to detect. In order to detect, we will be loading something like how we will detect. Car will be look like this, the truck will be look like this, and bus will be look like this. Something like we have to have something, some kind of a pattern that it has to recognize, so that it will detect something like it is a car, it is a bus, or it is a lorry. Like that, it can able to detect. The machine learning has been evolved for the case of recognizing a pattern accordingly. over here. And we can say something like that. It's something like a machine learning or deep learning is an algorithm. It's not a magic happening to detect that particular object, basically. And we have a different area of application area of machine learning over here. It's something like a self-driving car. It's something like a without driverless car driving. And for example, the Apple, Tesla, and different other companies are working on developing a self-driving car, or and something like a practical speech recognition. For example, if suppose we may have some kind of a devices, Alexa devices in our home, it's something like hi Alexa, hi Google. All those things are based on some kind of a practical speech recognition, which involves machine learning. And for example, efficient web search. For example, the Google does the web search for with respect to tags, that it does that, which is an machine learning algorithm. And we have an human genome understanding and object detection, face detection, and recognition. For example, we have some kind of a smart attendance system that will allow us to detect automatically the person comes in. It automatically scans that person and detects the face of him, and automatically assign that attendance accordingly over here. And we have seen something like a vehicle monitor for CCTV. That's something like each vehicle going at which speed, that we can able to monitor the vehicle. And we can do some kind of email spam detection, and some kind of based on the sales history. The For example, if suppose you have the online store, based on the sales history, it will do the recommendation, something like, for example, the Amazon is providing some offers on Wednesday, Thursday, like that, because based on the history, it detects something like these are all the days we have the very lesser sales that we wanted to increase. If suppose you wanted to increase, you have to provide the uh, promotions or offers during those days. Like that, it will provide some kind of online recommendations over there. Yeah, it's something like, when can we use that uh, machine learning over here? And something like the case when we cannot code the rules, during that time we have to use the machine learning. What it means, something like cannot code the rules. For example, we have the um, we wanted to detect a dog, basically, over here. For example, we will take an application of, we wanted to detect an animal, whether it is a dog or not. That is the application we wanted to do. In that case, for example, it has to be loaded with lots of data, and we cannot code the rules. For example, if we do some kind of a image processing, and in the image processing, for example, the some dogs will have the long tail, and some dogs will be having the smaller tail. Some dogs may not have very smaller tail, and some dogs will have the body will be different. All those things, it cannot be coded like a rules. It has to be coded with the data set, whether that it matches or not. Like that, it has to be checked with the data set or pattern. Because of that, during that case, we will be using machine learning algorithms. It's something like a scenario which cannot be solved using a deterministic rule-based solution. For example, the deterministic rule, in the sense that if it matches this, for example, we have an option, something like, for example, uh, password checking. If a password matches with this, and we can go to next. If it does not matches it, we can go to there is an invalid password. Like that, we cannot do the coding for these algorithms. Those kind of scenarios that machine learning comes into the picture basically. And the rules, whatever be the rules, depends upon too many factors. For example, we wanted to detect a object, which is something like a for example, we wanted to detect an object. We can take an example. We wanted to detect a mobile phone is an object that we wanted to detect. We will be having something like too many factors. Some phones will be like a square, and some phones will be larger, and some phones will be smaller. Some phone will have the keypad, some phone will not have the most of the phones smartphone will not have that. And some phones will have the camera on the backside, and some phones may not have the cameras. It has the too many factors in order to detect whether it is a phone or not. For example, we will be having the same kind of a yeah, plastic enclosure will be there that we need to detect the whether it should not be detected as a cell phone, mobile phone. In that case, it will be having too many factors to get detected that whether it is an uh, correct, or whether it is an correct object or not, that we wanted to detect. With the too many factors, then the machine learning comes into the picture. And it comes something like many rules can be overlapped. For example, we will take something like if suppose we are loading with the thousands of mobile phones, and uh, for training the data, uh, yeah, thousands of mobile phones will be used, mobile phone images will be used for training a data. In that case, for example, most some of the phones will have the same uh, uh, similar kind of a features, so that maybe it will be something like a curved shape, or it can be something like a all will be in blue color or red color, something like there will be some kind of a lot of overlaps may be having in the training data, that it needs to be fine tuned so that the simple structure can be defined, and it can be directly processed, or extracted information can be directly mapped to that respective neurons accordingly over here. And in some cases, it is very difficult to create some kind of coding for a human to code the rules. In that case, the machine learning comes into the picture. And if suppose we wanted to have some kind of a very large scale problems, for example, we will be loading something like for example, in the large scale during the manufacture or anything, it's something like we will be loading, for example, that whenever we found the detected defected products, and it will be keep on loaded as a reference, so that next time the that kind of a defected product comes into the vision, then it has to be taken out for from the packaging. That will be done with the large scale problems. It's something like uh, we will be large scale problems, like we will be getting something like new things in the runtime, that it has to accommodate, and it has to automatically learn that the defects of that, and it has to remove that defects, or remove that defected products in the future, like that it has the large scale problems that it has to address. In that case, we will be using machine learning over here. Yeah. For the machine learning, we will be using different kind of a programming language like MATLAB or and Python, and basically here we are going to use some kind of a Python is the programming language that we are going to use for this session over here. And in the machine learning, there is some kind of a different types, something like labeled data and unlabeled data. Basically, over here it's something like labeled data, which means which we can say some kind of a for example, we wanted to go from our current location to the some destination. Then we will be having some kind of a defined and labeled information through which we will travel, something like we have to go to this road and we have to take left, and kind of a clear information will be provided, and that will be something like a labeled data that will be provided for us to reach the point. In case of unlabeled data, it's something like whenever we will label the data, that we will see something like we for example, my location is this, and I can go straight forward over there, and like that take the left. Some kind of labeled data is available, and some kind of, if suppose how much time it will take based on the traffic or based on the maybe if there is a rain, that we can go to this speed, like that it will do that because based on the traffic, weather, and kind of scenarios that will be analyzed, and it provides the information that you can able to reach in 30 minutes or 20 minutes to that particular destination. That kind of machine learning is done through the labeled data. And in case of over here, unlabeled data means something like that we wanted to detect a dog or an animal, that maybe for example, that the training data and real-time data will be almost similar. For example, that in the labeled data, that we will go to this road and we have to take the left, and it will be like very similar to that. It was the data is labeled and it was present. In case of unlabeled data, that maybe whenever we do for training something like we will be showing the different dogs, but in the real time maybe a dog with a person will be there, or dog with a cat can be there, a dog with different backgrounds. Maybe we will be training that data set data with the help of something like a green background or white background, like that. But the thing is, in the real-time scenario, there can be a different thing, and there's, for example, the instead of a real dog, maybe a picture can be shown to that, like that. Different options are available, different scenarios are available. In case of unlabeled data, it's something, there will be a data which is something like unlabeled over there, which will be used to create a model or a data set that will be created like neurons, that we will see in the upcoming session over here. And the different types of machine learning is something like supervised learning or something like unsupervised learning. That we will see something like supervised learning. It basically analyze the learning data and produces the output accordingly. For example, we wanted to move forward. For example, we are the current location and we are feeding our destination over there, and it uses that training data and produces the output. You have to take this route and it can be reached over there. And also it, if suppose we wanted to predict the time, then it uses the data of information, which is something like how something like how much is the traffic, how was the weather. Based on that, it produces the output, something like the 30 minutes you will reach there or 20 minutes you will reach there, like that, which is something like a supervised learning that we have. There is a supervisory informations are available that this uh, the dependency and all those things informations are available in case of a supervised learning, and which basically that this supervised learning is an algorithm which makes prediction based on the training data. It it the For example, the machine learns itself with the data which is an labeled one. For example, we have to take this left, we have to take this right, we have to go in this straight row in this for example a GST route, like that. It has been, the data has been labeled over there, and which is something like uh, uh, that kind of a labeled information is an supervised learning over there. And in case of some data which is tagged in for some kind of a correct predictions over there, and we will be having something like it'll the supervised learning also will uses a neural networks, and it will uses multi-layer perception in order to solve the decision trees accordingly over there. And in case of unsupervised learning, that it will, yeah, here we have the other type of learning. It's something like unsupervised learning, which is something like will be used something like kind of learn to something like, for example, we will be feeding some kind of the objects in some kind of maybe a separated object. For example, the dog, a single dog will be used for learning that the structure. But in the real time scenario, the it can be something like there can be clustered data will be provided in the uh, real time. It's something like there can be a 5 dogs with different categories. There can be different peoples. For example, if in case of a person detection, we will be fed with the person's a person structure. That can, but in the real time, each we will be training the data with each the single images of persons. But in the real time, there will be something like multiple persons will be present in the current image frame, that we have to detect it accordingly by clustering the clustering. It's something like a grouping or clustering that in the in a manner so that we can able to detect it accordingly. For example, maybe we can take an example, something like, yeah, maybe we can take an example, something like we will be having some kind of a the we have been the trained data with the we have to we have the trained data with something like pink color balls, yellow color balls, and red color balls. Like that, we have been loaded with the data. But in the real time scenario, if suppose we are going into the bowl of balls, and we are going to detect, it will be has to separate that each and everything. For example, the ball has to be this region of this region is covered for a ball, and it has to be separated, and it has to be checked whether it is a ball or not. Like that, it has the unsupervised manner. It will do that. It will uses that the train data information to extract, and it does that learning accordingly over here. And we have something like the supervised learning will be have some kind of a labeled trained data, and it basically takes more time, and it needs technical expertise to make it like a supervised learning, and it collects the data and product the output based on the experience accordingly. And it the supervised learning is easy to optimize based on the performance. For example, we wanted to move from one place to another place, and based on the performance and data set, for example, we can take another route which can be provide some kind of a better reaching time comparing with the other route, the other main route which has the traffic. Like that, it does the automatic optimization in the runtime using the data present over there. Yeah, and the supervised learning helps to uh, uh, solve the real-time problems. It's something like it has been structured in the manner something like a training data and its features and algorithms used for that, and it creates the model that can be used. The model can be used in the runtime to detect uh, our own the path, or our own route map, or our own our own traffic information. All those things will be structured in like a model. That model can be used in the real time basically over there. And the supervision learning will work something like based on two different types, or something like it based on the regression, or something like a classification basically. And the regression does something, yeah, kind of predicts a single output using a training data based on input variables. It's something like, for example, we wanted to go from one place to another place based on different variables like whether it is weather, and then traffic, and then all those things. It predicts a single output using the training data over there, which helps to predict that single data over there. And basically the classification is something like a group the output inside the class. For example, that we can say something like an algorithm. It's something like tries to label in two different classes. For example, this is one way and this is another way. Like that, it's something like a binary classification. In case of selecting between more than two classes, it is called a multi-class classification. For example, even if suppose you have put a route for from destination, from your location to destination, you will be provided something like a different route maps, which is something like we can say that multi-class classification, that it provides the different route maps accordingly for you. Yeah. This is something like the unsupervised learning basically does not need to supervise the model. It mainly deals with some kind of unlabeled data. There will be data will not be labeled over there, and basically it allows to perform more complex processing. For example, what is labeled and what is unlabeled. Labeled in the sense there will be some kind of a information is present for that particular data. For example, the current location is maybe the current location is Navalur, then it is labeled like a Navalur, that location. It's something like labeled data, labeled information is present. In case of unsupervised learning, there won't be any labeled information will be present over there. Yeah. And we have some kind of a option. It since it is doesn't it process the data which is unlabeled. It needs something like a more complexing. It does that more complex processing to make that the training models. It's something like whenever we are feeding that data, it the unsupervised learning that it tries to find the all kind of unknown patterns in the data. For example, maybe I can show something, maybe a picture. Maybe we can take an example of some picture. It's something like Arduino board. It's something like we wanted to detect that Arduino board. Maybe we can load it with that Arduino board, and this will be something like we are feeding that information. Something like this will be the structure of this board. If we have come across like this board, then it has to detect some kind. This is an Arduino board like that. That it has been, if suppose we loaded with the, for example, like an, yeah, maybe we are loading some kind of information like this image, then it tries to find that all the informations are present inside the image. For example, we have one board here, we have another board here, and it tries to extract. There is a two boards are present, which is one is green color and one is blue color. Like that, it can able to find that all the patterns which is present inside our inside the image. That helps that uh, helps that the that whatever be the unknown patterns, it finds and grabs that will be used for categorization in the while extract a feature that is useful for categorization basically. For example, this is categorized for Arduino based boards. This is categorized for a Nordic based board. For example, the animal detection, this pattern is categorized for a dog. This pattern is categorized for a cat. For example, vehicle detection, this pattern is recognized detailed for a car. This pattern is detailed for a lorry or a truck. This pattern is for a bus. Like that, it tries to find all kinds of unknown patterns within present the data that will be useful to extract the features and categorize that accordingly. A car, a bus, a lorry or truck, like that, it can be useful to categorize that accordingly over there. Yeah. And it's something like the unsupervised learning will take place in a real time, and it which means that all the data, all the input data to be analyzed and labeled in the real time manner basically. And it's something like, for example, we are going to load that unlabeled data, which is easier. It's something like simple images can be unlabeled data that's easier to get in terms uh, comparing with that labeled data, something like this is the location of this, like that which is uh, easier to get comparatively on than the labeled data over here. And we will see how that unsupervised learning will works over here. It's something like, yeah, clustering. It's something like we have found some kind of a thing. It's something like we have for example we have loaded with a car, multiple cars maybe, and in the real time scenario when it receives a new frame, it has to find a structure or pattern. Whatever be the pattern it has learned, it has to uh, find it, and in the huge collection of categorized data. That data we will be having something like the cars will have different categorized data formats. It can be something like loaded with the normal uh, 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 for example, that small car, sedan car, XUV car, or something like uh, uh, um, sedan, XUV, and hatchback. All those models will have some kind of a huge collection of data, and if it receives the image frame, it has to find the structure. For example, if suppose there is a in the image, it has to find the structure which is matching any of the hatchback or sedan or any kind of a car. It structure has been matched or present in that particular image or not, that it has to check. Basically that it does with the clustering over there. Even though there is a 100 cars, it can able to check each and find that structure, whether that structure or pattern is present over there or not, is a kind of a clustering. And once it detect that, it will process the data and find the natural cluster if they exist. If suppose there is a data is present, for example, there is a two cars are going and two trucks are going, it has to extract and it has to find that, and it has to create the cluster inside that. It's something like two cars and two trucks and two bicycles all are going in the road, like that it has to make that clustering over there. That is a one kind of a super unsupervised learning. And after the clustering or finding a structure, it has to do the association. It's something like allows to establish, for example, we have 10 categories, something like car, truck, bus, auto, vehicle, two-wheeler, and bicycle, and bike. Like that, we have different categories. And once it finds and matches with the pattern, it has to allow the association, establish the association among the data objects, and discovering the relationship. It's something like the database might have 10 categories and loaded with the huge database of information, and whichever it matches, and we have to find that it allows to find or discover the relationship, whether it matches with the car category or whether it matches with the um, truck category, like that. Discovering the relationship between the variables, huge variables present in the huge database, is called association, basically over here. And we'll be having some kind of the process of the black diagram process, or maybe a block diagram. It's something that we will be doing. And we will be using some kind of evaluation data. Using the evaluation data, we will be creating the object model, and we will using the object model. For example, we have loaded with the evaluation data of all more multiple cars and we have detected the object model, and it can able to predict some kind of a hatchback, some kind of a XUV. For example, there is some kind of a different kind of and it can able to detect, and we will be doing the testing, and how much probability it was detecting, whether it is something like 80% it detects like a car. For example, there is a new models like a maybe we can say something like Innova or Fortuner will have the longer distance, that will be something like treated like a very longer XUV. Some kind of those kind of a data is missing, then we will be adding those data into the evaluation data, and we will continuously run that, so that we will be getting something like the model will can be created, so that it can be used in a real time, so that it can able to uh, detect all kind of cars, all kind of trucks that can be detected using this model. Like that, we have to feed that model with a lot of evaluation data based on the test result. For example, we are checking for one car which was not detected properly, then we have to it means that that kind of data or that kind of a pattern is not present in that model. Then we have to feed that our new pattern of car that it has to be matched, that we need to feed that, and we have to create a new model, and new model can be used for pattern recognition of that car. And if that car got detected, then should be fine. If suppose there is another different cars are coming, and for example a different date, for example different kind, the cars are closing very close to each other, and in that case it cannot able to detect. In that case we have to feed that particular evaluation data, that it has to be provided to model that our the learning model, so that that model can be used to predict it uh, in predict that the object or a vehicle in a proper manner, basically. And we have some kind of a different process involved in the machine learning, is something like data collection and data preparation and model selection. And for example, there is some kind of a various models are available over the internet. Maybe we can instead of we create our own model, maybe we can choose the model, we can select the model to use accordingly, and maybe we can use if suppose we have the collected data is present, and that can be used for training and create the model, and we can use that the trained model for evaluation, and by feeding that different images whether it is detecting or not, and once it used for evaluation, that can be used for prediction in the real time. The training process is something we can say something like providing, for example, how we trained ourselves to detect some kind of a dog. It's something like loaded with a lot of information in our brain, so that the dog will be looked like that. This is something like that learning process. It has been started from childhood to now till now, that this will be like this will be like this, like that. Lot of data has been stored in our mind. In the similar way, in order to make that machine is going to learn, that we are feeding the data, we are training the input data, we are providing the input training data source, so that the machine will stores that under creates the pattern and creates the pattern by itself, and with that pattern it will using that pattern information that it can be used something like used to detect that is related to this object, that is this pattern is related to this object, like that it has been loaded with the input training data. This kind of a loaded with the training data is called a process of training process. And once that it has been the name of the attribute that contains the target to be predicted is called will be loaded, and it something like the training process is required some kind of a data transformation instruction over there. For example, the pattern has to be transformed in the proper manner so that it can be matched with that accordingly, like, and then we can have some kind of the parameters to control the learning algorithm. The parameters can be depends upon our model performance and model to be created with a large database, or it has to be used in small devices, and it has to be strinked accordingly. Like that we can able to control the training process accordingly over here. And we have seen something like there is a lot of openly available models that can be used with loaded with the different training informations. That kind of a model zoo which provides is to detect that different animals that can be used, that we will see how can we use those models and how can we detect that images accordingly, that we will see in our upcoming sessions. Yeah. And we have something like a kind of a different models, some kind of a binary classification model, which means something like there will be output of two binaries, either yes or no, like that. There will be a binary classification model in case of the products, the manufacturing, during the manufacturing, whether it is the product is good for sales or not. It's something like only two cases. If it is good for sales, then it can be go to the packaging. If it is not good for sales, then it has to be removed from that. Like that, there will be a binary classification model. And in case of something like multi-class classification, it's something like we wanted to do, for example, maybe something like something like different gradients, some kind of a manufacturing industry, the first quality, second quality, like that, it has can be classified something like the first quality and second quality, third quality, like that, it has to be packaged, that kind of a thing called multi-class classification. And regression model, it's basically predicts a numeric value, or it may be something like based on that previous history of sales, it can be used to detect the how many units will sell tomorrow, basically over there. And we have we have the data set, which is an key of here, which can be used something like a training data set, a set of examples used for learning the known object, known target is called training data set. And validation data set is can be used that can be feed something like whether how the model is working, and that validation data set can be used to fine tune that classification. For example, a cat, dog, for example, a car, truck, bus, or anything that it does the classification, it has to, the data set can be feed so that it can be used to fine tune that the classification and estimate the errors is called validation data sets, and test data set is used to access the performance of the classifier, which may be a real time scenario, which is an test data set basically over here. And for this machine learning, we will be using something like a OpenCV, which is an front end for capturing and doing the pre-process. And we will be using, for doing that, this learning and detailed with the playing with the each pixels of the images, and that needs more power. The more power has been utilized with the help of the GPU, which is something like a graphical process unit, and which will be used for rendering the 3D graphics over there. And it can be used something like a hardware acceleration, something like instead of doing the manipulation on the CPU, that the most of the population manipulations or will be done, the image processing done over the GPU over here. And basically the GPU used to improve that overall performance of the machine learning of the system basically over here. And the GPU is used to accelerate. For example, we can say something like if suppose we wanted to do some kind of a processing at, for example, with the CPU, we can able to achieve 1 frame per second can be processed. If suppose we are using a GPU, maybe we can able to achieve more than 15 frames per second that it can be processed over there. That kind of a flexibility that we can able to get it with the help of hardware accelerated GPUs. And the GPUs can be used some kind of for the deep learning, analytics, and engineering applications. And here we will be using something like GPU, the graphical processing unit. Most of the time, the graphical processing unit comes. The NVIDIA is the pioneer on that, and they are providing some kind of the parallel computing and programming model is called a CUDA. CUDA is the tool set or a framework provided by the NVIDIA, which allows or which able to speed up that computing application by using that power of GPUs. Basically, CUDA framework, which provides some kind of a accelerated computing, and maybe it's something like which does the sequential part of overload runs on CPU, and intensive application runs on the GPU cores in thousands of GPU cores in a parallel manner over there, which provides something like for example, 1,000 tasks will be executed on 1,000 cores, and it provides the output in a single stage, so that the parallel workloading has improved the performance over there. That we will see how can we install that PyTorch, and how can we install the CUDA, and how can we integrate that, integrate and create the environment by tomorrow on that. This is some kind of a introduction about machine learning. Maybe we will see about deep learning a little bit on the deep learning over here. Yeah, we can see something like a deep learning is machine learning. It's similar to a machine learning with the help of artificial neural network with the representation learning. That we will see what is an artificial neural network over here. And basically that the deep learning uses a multiple layer internally, which we can say something like a hidden layers, which can be used internally to extract the description from the input. For example, that I extract the description in the sense, extract the pattern or extract the description, whether it is a a cat or dog, whether it is something like that, that we can able to extract from the input basically. And basically that deep learning, deep refers, in the deep learning, deep means there is something like multiple number of layers that will be used for data transformation. Because of that, it is called like deep learning. It was something like lot of layers are present inside. Because of that, it was named like that, named like deep learning. And we have something kind of a, it can be something like unbounded number of layers of bounded size over here. Yeah. And it can be maybe that something like the deep learning is very useful in real-time application and implementation, and the deep learning can be applied for different learning techniques like supervised learning, semi-supervised or unsupervised learning, all those things over here. For supervised learning, the deep learning eliminates some kind of a feature engineering that we will see when we do that the process basically. It's something like we'll be having some kind of a the correlation between the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Over here, the artificial intelligence is something like mimicking the intelligence or behavioral pattern of humor or any living entity. Basically, it's something like it's uh, it tries to mimic that human pattern or behavior accordingly. In case of machine learning, is a technique by which the computer can learn from the data without using that complex set of different rules. And this approach is mainly based on training the model over here. For example, we are training accordingly that we will do that. Uh, in case of deep learning, it's something like that will be used, that will act like similar to mimicking that our brain basically. Deep learning is trying to create similar pattern of, yeah, our brain basically. That is called deep learning. This is a correlation between three things basically. The artificial intelligence is a vast term. In that, machine learning is something like it tries to learn from the data set, is called machine learning. And deep learning is something like it tries to learn, and it will be something like single and multiple layers of information, hidden layers that will be a hidden layer of neurons that will be that will be present, and which will try to simulate the same manner of, yeah, how our brain behaves basically over here. And the difference between the machine learning and deep learning is that if suppose whenever we do, yeah, input, that we will be using some kind of the feature will be extracted, and that will be provided for the classifiers over here. And the classifier will detect whether it is a car or not a car. In case of a deep learning, the input will be provided, and it does the feature extraction, and it does the classification, and it detects whether it is a car or not, which is called a deep learning basically over here. And we have something like we have the option something like the artificial neural network, which something like which is that we can see something like it's computing system very similar to our biological neural network, biological our brain, which similar to that basically over here. And it's basically artificial neural network is basically a uh, collection of different connected units. For example, here we will be using something like the different units are present, all are connected over here, which is called some kind of a artificial neural network. It's something like collection of connected units. Basically, over here, each part is called neurons over here, and all are connected between each other over here. For example, this one get connected over here, this one get connected here, this one is get connected. Similar way, all three are get connected with each other, like that it was connected to each other, and each connection is used to transfer a signal to another neuron. For example, this connection is used to transfer the data or signal from here to this neuron, and similar way this neuron to this neuron, that there is a connection that will be used to transfer the data signal or data over there. And each receiving the whoever receives that signal, and it downstream to next neuron. Basically, for example, here this neuron receives the data from all the three, and it process and it downstream to next level over here, which this kind of environment is called artificial neural network. Basically, the that we will see in depth of the artificial neural network with the implementation of using the PyTorch. This is to give some overview over here. And the neuron state will be represented like a real number. Maybe in case of a binary classification, it will be like between 0 and 1, that will be represented over here. And neurons will be organized in a layer. For example, here, this is one layer, hidden layer 1, hidden layer 2, hidden layer 3, and hidden layer 4. And we will be having something like an input layer, and we have the output layer. This kind of a layered structure has been created in case of artificial neural network. And each layer does the different transformation based on their inputs. Whatever it receives the input, based on the input, it does the transformation of that particular data of inputs accordingly. It's something like the artificial neural network approach is to solve the problems which is very similar to our human brain, and which has been focused on matching our mental abilities, leading to different deviations of that, basically. And here we have some kind of information about deep neural network. Deep neural network, which is very similar to artificial neural network, but it has the multiple layers between the input and output layers. For example, this is the one that we can able to see over here, input layer, and we have an output layers. In between, we have lot of layers, or in between, all the layers are connected to each other, basically, over here. And which the deep neural network, which will try to find that exact manipulation process that converts that input to the output. For example, we are feeding some kind of images with cat and dog, and it has to detect in the output layer. We will be having a cat, and we will be having the dog. With that information, that we will be getting the output over here. And all the processing are done inside that, whether the processing can be a linear format or it can be like a non-linear format, that will be done within the hidden layers, basically, over here. And for example, that the complex models can be used to manipulate the non-linear relationship accordingly. For example, if suppose what is linear and non-linear. For example, we are a dog or object has been taken a photo has been in a straightforward manner, the same manner that in the real time the feeding data also has that it can be matched directly with the linear, whether these pixels are present here, these pixels are present here, like that we can able to match. In case of if suppose I have rotated my head like that during the face detection, it has to do the non-linear relationship accordingly over here. And it basically, the deep learning network basically generates the composition model where object is something like a layered composition, which the different layers are present over here. And basically the deep neural network, which is an most commonly like a feed forward network, which means that the data which comes from here will go in a forward manner. It does not come back basically over here, which is that we can say something like it is a feed forward network that the data will not be a loop back again. And basically that deep neural network creates a map of virtual neurons with random weight to connections. For example, that the for example, each connection is having the weight W is the weight of 1 of 2, like that each connection will have the weight over it, and that will for example that um, maybe we can say something like the pixels that matches, for example, it has been fed to all the neurons over here. And for example, this neuron detects that it is a tiger. For example, tiger and cat will be having almost similar, but some kind of a difference over there. And in that case, and it has the, in case if suppose we are providing some kind of a tiger image, then whichever neuron detects it as like a tiger, then that will be provided with the higher weightage than the cat, because the whatever we are seeing, it's a tiger, it's not a cat. In case of a cat and we are seeing it is not a tiger, then that cat neuron has to be given with the higher weightage in order to detect where that particular pattern is a cat, that particular pattern is tiger, like that. That depends upon the weightage accordingly over here, that we have the weightage for each connection between the neurons accordingly over here. That, and once that weight and inputs are multiplied, and it will be created something like a output as a 0 and 1. For example, this we have the classification. If it is a cat, 0 or 1, and if it is a tiger, 0 or 1. The tiger, if it is a tiger, it will becomes like a 1. That will be based on the data and the weightage of each and everything, and the respective thing will be get manipulated accordingly over here. That we will see how exactly that is done using the application over here. And we have some kind of a different deep learning models, something like a convolution neural network, which is very similar to artificial neural network over here, and recurrent neural network, and deep belief neural network, and different generative adversarial network, and autoencoders. Maybe that we will not go into that more deep into theoretical. Maybe we will use that PyTorch framework and the implementation, and get detected with the real-time application in the upcoming sessions. If suppose if you have any doubts, please feel free to ping me over here. Yes. I think with this, I am winding up the session for today. Maybe we shall see about the PyTorch framework, and how can we install the PyTorch and how can we get started with the PyTorch, that we will see on tomorrow. And after that, maybe today session is more towards like a theory, and the next class will be, next session will be something like on the how can we use the PyTorch in manner, and the day after tomorrow that we will see about how can we use that PyTorch to do the image classifications and in a real time examples over there. And after that we will how, once we done the classification, and we will make whether we will do something like whether that the image classified and whether that image the face is sad or happy, that we can able to see on the next session. And we will be seeing something like a tracking and object direction and tracking over there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Please feel free to ping me in case of any doubts over here.